Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time zone you're in. Welcome to Sophion webinar on improving digital transformation success. I'm really excited today to go through this. I'm Alan Himmler. I'm Vice President Product Marketing. So I'd like to, at this time, introduce Ketan Jahar Girdhar. It's my pleasure. I've worked with Ketan for 2 years. Ketan brings over 25 years of experience in both application development and an emphasis in strategy, enterprise architecture, and a subject near and dear to many of your hearts that's probably on the call today, program management. Ketan came over with the acquisition of Acclaim Projects in December of 2021 to Sophion. And before starting the product that preceded Acclaim Projects, which was ROI Blueprints, Ketan was a principal consultant at Diamond Management and Technology, now known as PwC, and also did consulting and had leadership roles in application development and IT R&D. Ketan was in digital transformation before digital transformation was cool. So it's really exciting to have him today. Please feel free to ask questions. And Ketan, take it away.
Thank you, Al. And welcome to all of you. Really appreciate all of you joining us today. I want to start with a fairly large number here. You can see that IDC has predicted about 3.4 trillion in spend that's expected on digital transformations by 2026. And since digital technology during transformation really gets infused into the fabric of your operations, transformations can be disruptive at times, and there's a fair amount of implementation risk, right? So why would we put ourselves through this? And the answer is that our customers are already down this path. We have 66% of consumers have smartphones. We have 2.5 billion folks on social networks. And last count, we have about 25 billion connected objects on the internet. So digital customer engagement is not a choice anymore, regardless of what your business is, and digital transformation is no longer a choice, right? Think about your own experiences and expectations as consumers, whether it's alerts on banking. I have a weighing scale that reminds me to weigh myself and tells me I'm not doing a good job anymore. So things have changed, and regardless of the product, regardless of the industry, digital experiences are here to stay. On this slide, today is No Judgment Thursday. So I want you to take this. The key message from here is not the 100% accuracy of the timeline and the technologies here, but what I want you to think about is, if you look at all these technologies over the last few decades, right, a majority of them have become part of our day-to-day lives, right? It's been absorbed into our lives. It's been absorbed into processes at companies, into operations of large companies. And so if you think about what's to come, natural language processing, generative AI, machine learning, deep learning, even though it's not 100% baked in, expect that it will be, right? Some of the technologies will go to the tech graveyard, but don't throw the baby out with the bathwater, right? There are a lot of cool things to come, and they will deliver value for your shareholders as well as your customers. So what we'll cover today on the webinar is the two fundamental types of digital transformations. What are the keys to success? We'll talk about a couple of big risks, including change management. And how do you get started on your digital transformation journey, right? How do you actually kick things off? And then once it's in motion, how do you govern a transformation program? Right? The governance structure that you need to have in place, the processes and tools that are critical to make sure everything is on track, and the single source of truth or the information you need to monitor the progress. So let's get started. Two types of digital transformations, right? So if you do your research, people are going to classify it in multiple ways, but for me, it fundamentally comes down to two types. First one is where the business model itself gets transformed, right? So your services and products are now digital. Think about Netflix, went from DVDs to streaming services. Lego selling apps. Disney, right? From a theme park to they have streaming services like Hulu, and they purchased ABC, and they have even your experience in the theme parks is fairly digitized, and I'll cover that more later. Disney's revenue was about 82 odd billion last year, and 55 billion came from their media and entertainment. That's something to think about. On the right-hand side, the second type of business process, digital transformation, is business process transformation. This is more traditional, where you're overhauling your actual processes, right? Whether it's procure to pay, contract to cash, manufacturing. There's a lot of automation that goes in, integration with third-party vendors, etc. And the drivers for transforming your processes are, they're all over the place. The pandemic jump-started it for a lot of organization, increase in remote working and collaboration, increasing online purchasing from consumers, things like threats to data security, supply chain vulnerabilities. So the drivers are many, but transforming your internal operations to use digital technology is pretty widespread and will continue to grow. The key thing with transformation is that they require us to be all in. Even the execution might be iterative and it takes time to get things in. The transformation needs to be planned out holistically, and we'll cover that shortly.